YouTube, welcome back to The Edge. I hope you recognize this from my previous video all about using flash in street photography. I can get rid of it. It's Halloween in New York, I had to join in. In today's video, we're going to talk about does composition matter in street photography. Personally, I think it does. But equally, do we care? Do we really have time to think about these things when everything's happening so fast? Oh, leading lines. Oh, serendipitous. Oh, rule of thirds. I don't know. The moment is always the most important thing for me. But for me, the more you can learn, the more you can put in that brain, the more that just happens naturally. You're looking for those things automatically and they just appear. And when that moment does appear, hopefully we're ready to take that picture. When I learned photography, my mindset was learn as much as you can from everyone you can, then let it dissolve in your brain, and whatever comes out naturally, that's your style, which is always ongoing. I'm going to run through a series of images of mine personally, which I've taken from all over the world. I'm going to run through the compositional thoughts I was having at the time, and then easier, obviously, looking back at the images. Once it's paused, once you've got the image, you can dissect it and take it slowly, break it down in your head, and then learn for next time. This image here was taken in Heraklion in Crete. I was actually speaking at a wedding photography conference called Fearless. The day before, I went for a little street photography walk with a couple of fellow photographers. As we were walking along the harbour, I noticed this mural, this graffiti mural, in the distance. What I also noticed about 50 meters away from this mural was this guy walking with his top off, with a beard, juxtaposing the graffiti further down the way. I took ahead, waited for the moment. I noticed Poseidon's hand in the graffiti, and my thought process was to have Poseidon grab the elderly man as he's walking past. So basically, the old Poseidon crossing with the new Poseidon, the juxtaposition of the two, the contrast, the old, the new. For me, I just saw the new Poseidon just grabbing the old man and taking him in and bringing him back to the young days. I love the flow of the frame as well. The water, the waves bring you in. The yellow and blue obviously interact, which helps. Hope you can see that too. This image was taken in Varanasi in India, a very popular destination. I took this probably around 5 years ago now, but I love this image. I got very lucky here, same as all of them. But I was in a crouch position, nice and low. The dog in the foreground just walking past nice and slowly with his tail curled. And I managed to line up the dog's tail in the foreground with the dog on the boat. Super lucky. And what tops it off is the tail then frames the little boy on the boat. You obviously have other aspects of this, like the leading line from the dog taking you all, the dissectional line. The horizon just adds another frame to it. I call this a tail within a tail. Definitely one of my favorites. What do you think of this one? So we've got 5 trees. They're basically logos of a venue. I'm inside. So basically I'm inside a conservatory with other people doing other things. I'd obviously noticed the trees earlier. It was a rainy day, good old UK. And then I noticed in the corner of my eye, a lady walking past with an umbrella. My goal, which I did instinctively, was raise the camera, move around, try and frame her umbrella with one of the trees for the juxtaposition. I massively got really lucky here. And yeah, you just got some nice framing of the greenery, brings your eye in and the bushes into the lady. Obviously, you got the equal separation between the trees as well. It's just trying to show you how my brain worked for this image. So yeah, I just love the dogs all looking the same way. So basically doing the security checks, making sure nobody's coming in. I love the 2 standing, the 2 laying in the same position, the white and the green. And then you got the man walking down the steps in the white and green, just to top it off for me. I love the framing of the Yankee Gat. It just holds your eyes there and then drags you into the rest of the frame. And the subject separation, pretty equal in between, which I kind of look for. Obviously, another layered image with the guy in the background. How could I improve this image? If there's another dog in the middle, so you get the middle ground. But hey, it's a favorite. I love the colors too. Another image from my local town, Cheltenham. This time using very harsh light. This is a built-up area. There's lots of bars, restaurants, cafes. It's just a high contrast and another minimalist image, which just brings out, which helps bring out the subjects. What I needed was that light coming through the buildings, just hitting a certain part of the frame. We got the vertical lines, we got the similar distances between each subject, isolation, and then we got a diagonal shadow line which dissects right through. So yeah, lots of people like minimalist. I like to try everything. I like all sorts of photography. Everything is training for me. So again, it's just practice in different situations and scenarios. This next image was taken in Istanbul this year. I really love the framing here. It's just the steps, the swirls, the leading lines all the way down the steps from the foreground, the middle ground, and the background. All different layers, something different happening on each layer. The width, people on the width closing in. Two sets of brides as well. How's your luck? Yeah, I really like there's a lot happening. So you can scan this image for a long time and come back with different things each time. So those are the images I really love. So yeah, definitely got lucky again. Cape Town, South Africa. First of all that hits me is color overload. Yeah, when I came across this street, all colorful houses, it's just the old area. It's just like a little playground. Coming from across the road, I noticed this scene happening. The guy in the top left in the pink, which was contrasting the house to the right. And then the guy taking a photo of the lady on the right, him in the darkness, her in the highlights. The car leading the two together. Then the guy taking the photo, diagonally his head falling in line with the leading lines up the stairs, which just continually takes your head around the frame. The dissection of the rule of thirds. Yeah, it's just one of them images which just has balance, and yeah, I really enjoy this image. Hopefully you do too. So here we've got the sacred Ganges, people bathing, they come from all over India. You probably know the Varanasi story. Beautiful, magical place. People so warm, welcoming. Here in this frame, we've got the illusion of the guy basically standing on his head in the foreground. He's just propping this man up behind him in the background. So that's the illusion. Give you a little secret. These are called ghats, so there's steps down into the Ganges River. So this man is just standing on a lower perspective than this man. So it was just a case of me finding my frame, hitting that, just making sure it looked like he was standing on his head. But for me, it's those seeing things. Like, you don't always nail them, but that's the game. I like that the texture, the colors, warm and the cold, they just contrast each other. And just a bit of negative space just to balance the image. So you do force your eyes into the illusioned man. Another favorite of mine, I've been lucky enough to win numerous awards for this one. Not an Edge Award as I can't enter. I'm banned. I've banned myself. Anyway, jokes. I am banned. The obvious here is the guy smoking, the swirl of motion, which just the smoke coincidentally leans into and makes an S-shaped swirl with the bush. Again, always the top off is that little bit of luck, that cherry on top, and luckily I got it here. So when I looked in the back of the camera and saw this, that the swirl lined up with the bush, yeah, I couldn't believe it either. I like his blue contrasting with the green as well. So yeah, another favorite. It's just a balanced image, which really appeals to me. I literally have no words for this image. See what I've done there? Quite literally. I was actually at the London Street Photography Festival about 5 years ago. And I came out of the shop, just popped in the shop with a couple of people at the festival. I had my camera with me, obviously, always have your camera with you. This directly across the road, about 30 yards, 40 yards away, 20, 30 meters, was just there, standing in front of me. I couldn't believe it. First of all, Kudos for wearing the yellow jersey. I thought that was only for Tour de France winners. Kudos then for having the yellow case. And then that cherry on top again, the yellow backdrop. But what really tops it off, I didn't say it, the shop said it, needs to change. I have my opinion on yellow t-shirts. I'm not sure I could pull one off, even though I've got the green. It's close, it's close. Yeah, no, just one of those lucky shots again. I just love the geometry of this one with the building. It just all lines lead straight to this guy, straight to the right then. And wham bang, straight in the middle of the symmetry-ish. He could be the Tour de France winner though, who knows? This, I believe, is Street Fighter. I don't know if you remember. I think his name was Ryu. So for me, the dramatic light initially coming out of the tunnel, when you got a harsh day, the diagonal light just hitting the tunnel, coming through. So as people are walking past, that directional light is just hitting them straight away. So I exposed for those highlights, which gives the chiaroscuro, obviously the light against the darkness, just gives that contrast. The guy then juxtapositioned with Rue. He's got a T2 on his bag, which is Terminator 2. It's a shame it doesn't say Street Fighter, but hey, you can't have it all. We got the rule of thirds as well, the dissection of the diagonal frame leading Rue and the light into the guy. We even got a bit of negative space for balance. So it all just flows, it all just works. If my mate with the T2 was doing the Yukin for Street Fighter, hey, again, that would top it off. But again, we can't have it all. Hope you enjoyed. One more from that magical Varanasi. I was lucky enough to spend a few days here with Vineet Vora, who's an Indian street photographer. You'd all probably know him. He's one of our ambassadors at the Edge. Such a lovely guy, such a talent. But yeah, just walking around with him, I came across this. So basically, I run off. Sorry, Vineet. When I see something, yeah, I can't multitask. I've got to go. So in this frame, obviously the foreground's first. Do we like people looking at us in the camera? Sometimes it works, sometimes you wish they didn't, but hey, that's life. I actually do like this lady looking at me. We had a little chat afterwards as well. Lovely lady. So in this foreground here, I like she's nice and close. I love the headscarf, the orange paint on the face, and obviously above her head is that orange again, just to give those juxtapositions in a little frame. The middle ground, this guy just doesn't care for me, which is brilliant. Again, a contrast with the foreground. He's more intrigued with his newspaper, wondering what's going on in the world. And then off into the background, we've got those three other gentlemen, one walking down the steps, contrasting colors, but just getting on with their daily lives. Again, chilling on the ghats of Varanasi. Then obviously you have the colors. So this, I like to call a one-hit wonder. It's just something that just came from nowhere. I noticed the man reaching in to look at the picture in the MoMA gallery in New York. Him with his long hair, and it looks like the guy in the picture frame is actually pulling a hair out of his head. Again, it's just how my brain works. So you've also got a frame within a frame, a picture frame within my frame, which helps. You got that rule of thirds again. It's not going anywhere. It's there. And then you got the leading lines in the picture, which gives just a nice little flow, circling back to my friend pulling my other friend's hair out of his head. The joys of street photography. These are just my thoughts. I'm not right, I'm definitely not always right. It's just my thoughts and things I've learned along the way. I'm always striving to get better personally in street, wedding, any other photography I take up. Studying my images, I can break down and see what appeals to me, what my thought process was, and I also love to learn off other people's photos and street photography books. Thank you once again for joining me on this new YouTube journey. Hopefully you're learning things. I'm definitely learning things. It's just so out of my comfort zone, which is always good. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe to the channel, give us a like, give us a follow on the Edge, and come along for the journey and let us grow together.